6 o'clock.
All right, we're good. All right, welcome everybody. It is 6 o'clock PM on Wednesday, January the 21st, 2025. And I'd like to begin our regular workshop by the Town of Lake City Board of Trustees. I just remind everybody and ask everybody that we will not speak out of turn. We're gonna have a civil discussion and work through our agenda. Our first item this evening is to discuss the Sheriff IGA County revised draft.
Yep.
Want me to start? You have something to say?
No, I appreciate Sheriff Starnes showing up and being able to.
And I did text everybody asking for, if you had any questions. And we looked at it before, but there is now a final version, a cleaned up version. Lex just sent out this afternoon. But I had a couple questions on the other ones.
Yeah.
I think a key to this is, as we all know, we all have to have police protection in our town. And, I just wanna get the IGA done. We're not gonna finish it this evening, but part of it was to be able to have a discussion, and I appreciate the sheriff being here. I'll start. Any trustees have any questions that they'd like to start with?
It's not really a question, just stating how it looks. And looks like it puts a lot of faith into the department to uphold any of the ordinances and priority. Like, I understand that there's other stuff that's, doesn't deserve your time and it's just a waste of time, so.
Well, I wouldn't say it that way.
Some things do.
Everything's deserving of our time, but some things are more deserving than others.
Okay, and what I'd like to do is go ahead and let you finish the question, and then if you'd like to respond, we'll let that. We'd just do straight open discussion.
All right.
No, I was just stating it, how it looks. A lot of things, I guess, that our lawyer had put in and y'all's lawyer took out, it alleviates, I guess, heavier responsibility to be there. But I'm just saying how it looks to me.
Okay.
Just puts a lot of faith into your department to, it's at your discretion on what to handle and when to handle it.
Excuse me.
Okay?
I just want to point out that the IGA that we have operated under forever is basically the same in that we invest in the sheriff's office the discretion to uphold the laws. And, and I guess that's basically all it's saying. And I don't have a question, so no answers.
Trustee Woods?
I don't have any questions.
No? Jesse?
I don't have many questions, I just want our town protected. Like, a lot, because we're the majority of the population. That's it.
Yep. I guess I'll go ahead and go, then you guys.
Yeah, go for it.
I just think, one of my questions on this, and I've been asking for a long time, I've discussed it with Lex some, and I think a key to this is we've learned the process through this, that in the future when an IGA is worked on, that the town works directly with the sheriff, not through the commissioners. But I do want to explain the reason, the way it came to be was you guys had a meeting, there was kind of a lack of communication in there, and we need to be able to work together easier to where, I appreciate you being here, and this is how we can possibly get something done. I know Lex and I have discussed some questions. Do you want to ask those, or do you want me to bring them
I
up?
believe Dan's online,
Okay.
he can answer this.
All right. Yeah, the only other thing that I wanted to state is, like I said, it's important that our citizens have police protection. I believe we will get an IGA done. The most important thing to me is that it's fair and equitable, and that we understand what we're doing. And like Trustee Lindsay had stated, one of the things that happened when I was a trustee, and then when I became mayor, we got into the town, and there were a lot of things, and when we would ask a question, it was always, that's just the way we've always done it. And the more we got into it and studied it, we were doing a lot of things. Things weren't always up to par, or they were like out of date and didn't apply anymore. And so the town staff has done a fantastic job of bringing things up. We are now in order, like, we're not behind 3 audits. And so part of that was, as I read that old IGA, there was confusing language for me, stating like, we're purchasing 1 patrolman and 1 car and that kind of stuff. And that's where I said, okay, guys, I think it's time that we develop a new one. And so it might be taking longer than we wanted, but I think since we're putting in the work, I want something that will make sense, at least for a few years with minor changes. So that's my feelings on it. Trustee Bruce?
No questions.
Trustee Leonard?
Mine, I guess, is just like, where did we get to the $100,000 without, you know, I get buying protective services, but if we're not buying per vehicle per year, what is that $100,000? I mean, in a way, I feel like $100,000, I mean, it seems like a steep price.
It's not steep at all.
Well, I know, I'm just saying, for the community, for the community, it's a steep price of like, within our budget of $100,000 for protective services, and I know that we were buying partial of a car or whatever. Then it seems like it's the same as it was, and they had the 3%, which I see they scratched out, but I don't see why it's $100,000 per officer for protection.
It's not per officer,
It's
you're
for
paying for the whole agency.
The agency protection of, I know, but what is $100,000?
Well, you're paying for increased dispatch costs, you're gonna be paying for brand new body cams. These have been obsolete for about 5 years,
Yeah,
okay? Those are all things
yeah,
that you'll be spending your hard-earned money on.
I mean, I get that, but I feel like as an IGA, I mean, it feels like an IGA with just buying body, you know, with the protective services, I get buying gear and
You know how
stuff.
much dispatch fees are this year?
Okay, wait, go ahead. Finish
But
your
I'm just
question.
saying, I'm in the term of like $100,000, I get the protective services and fees, but it's also within the whole county. You know, I don't know what the entire budget of the sheriff's office is, what,
It's a little over 700,000, so you're
Okay.
paying less than 20% of the budget.
yeah. But it's,
Even with the 100,000.
I kind of gonna go back on like what Dave always, you know, the mayor says too, is it feels like when you pay taxes in the county and then if you're in the town, it feels like you're kind of getting double dipped on your cost here over the entire wide of the county.
So what's your real question?
I was just curious about you know, like $100,000, I feel like for what, other than gear and fees, it feels like the $100,000, is that what you're budgeting for, you know?
Absolutely.
Yep, well,
So are you asking that in the agreement, there be a breakdown of exactly what that covers?
Yeah, and I mean, per se, I mean, it would be
Yeah, all right.
interesting to see.
Okay.
Trustee Lindsay?
Sheriff Starnes, could you tell us how much dispatch fees are going to be this year?
We're gonna be right around $70,000,
Thank you.
and that's just for Hinsdale County.
Yeah,
You know, Gunnison County and all the agencies combined with Gunnison County, I mean, they're paying the bulk of that, but, yeah, the cost of everything's going up.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and reiterate something that I brought up in many meetings, and this is where I'm still kind of in the gray. Is that, my feelings on this, the way it was explained to me, is that we are all citizens of Hinsdale County. I own, luckily, I have a little piece of property in the county, I pay taxes on that, I live within the town of Lake City, but I still pay the equal mill levy as any other citizen of the county. And so, for me, it's important that I feel like with the taxes that I pay, I should automatically have sheriff's protection. And the purpose of an IGA is for those things that the town requests above and beyond what any other citizen in the county would receive in police protection. And in our case, it's like, any special ordinances that you're doing above and beyond what would be handled in the county. Does that make sense? And so that's where my confusion has always lied on this, because when they say, you know, it's the sheriff's budget, $750,000 a year, that's also being paid through county taxes
That's the broker.
by the citizens of the town, who are also citizens of the county. And so what we pay above and beyond, in my opinion, should be what the town is receiving above and beyond that.
Right.
Okay,
That leads into kind of like the questions that we were talking about with Dan.
Okay?
Dan, would you,
Yeah, Dan, I'll
I
pass it
got a
on to you.
question real quick.
uh-huh,
So this original $100,000 mark, it went up from 96 to $100,000 over the last, what, 3-4 years roughly?
no, it was like 92, 95, and 97,
Where did
something.
that figure come from, and who,
I mean, that was from 2023, when I had discovered when I became the manager that the old sheriff IGA had expired. And so halfway through the year, we were working with an expired IGA. And when I brought that to the attention of the sheriff in the county, that's what Sheriff Cambish had come back with. And that was also, that's when the $5,000 for the vehicle replacement came in there. That's also when we started paying a portion of the dispatch fees. And that 3% increase was only being applied to the cost of the deputy, not the vehicle replacement and not the dispatch fees.
okay,
And how that was set up. And so, yeah, so that was one of the other things where I'm like, well, now this 3% is being applied to the total and not just what's covering the salary of the deputy. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would,
that's a good
I
question.
would just share that because I was a trustee back then, and it was never presented to us like, here's a copy of the IGA, you know, read it over and see how you feel about it. It was pretty much, this is how we've always done it, you know, and because of increasing costs, we're gonna need to raise that. I never ever was able to find out where that original figure started at, and I don't know.
Well, I mean, but
But the board at that time did agree for this, and I thought it was for 3 years to go up a certain percentage, 3%.
yeah,
Each year for 3 years.
it was, it's correct, which ended with 2025. That was the end of the 3 years.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, and I was a trustee then too.
yeah, and,
Well, do you remember us having in-depth discussion about it or getting a copy of it?
Yeah.
yeah,
really.
I mean, in 2023, I did provide a copy to all the trustees in 2023, and the sheriff, Cambish, came at that time and spoke with the board. Before that, I don't think there was much that went into it. That was something that just kept getting renewed. And it was in 2019 where our property tax stopped covering the cost of the IGA, which at that time was about 60 grand in 2019. And so since then, I mean, still now 100% with $100,000, 100% of our property taxes is going to the sheriff IGA, plus some of our sales tax money, another 30, 40 grand or so.
so that's not leaving you much wiggle room, is it?
The property taxes don't leave us with almost any wiggle room, but at least until 2019, it covered the sheriff IGA. So now all of our property taxes were being allocated to the sheriff IGA.
Yeah.
So, and that's also supposed to pay for a bunch of other stuff, but we can have.
What is the property tax
This,
percentage?
4.265, I believe.
That's low compared to comparable counties, right?
Yeah, but other towns, it's usually around 14 to 16 mils instead of 4.265. But even doing that, it doesn't that would only generate, if we match that, it would only, it would only generate about, $180,000 more.
Right.
Little more.
And that's also an example of, this is just how we do things, and nobody did anything about it for over 40 years.
Right,
I've asked people, when the last time did the town have a mill levy increase, and I was told it was beyond 40 years.
It's called kicking the can down the road.
Yeah,
right,
And we're trying to overcome that now.
yeah.
yeah, so we're just trying to put things in proportion. Did you have something else? Lex?
No, I mean, all what you and Landon said plays into the questions I believe Dan has from previous conversations the board has had or
Okay.
that we've talked about before.
Yep. Dan, are you there?
I am. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All
Um,
right.
room for the evening, but, if you've been listening, you hear what we said, but, you know, you and I kind of talked earlier. I think we kind of covered that, but please.
Sure.
Is the way we had discussed.
I just have a couple thoughts, and I've kind of just been scribbling notes as you guys were talking. So if they're a little disorganized, I apologize. I guess first, thank you, Sheriff, for showing up. It makes it exponentially easier to kind of figure out what you're willing to do, what you're able to do, what your staff will permit. Talking directly to you instead of Mike and I just guessing, yeah, I think this is good with him, and that's not. So thanks for showing up. I do really appreciate your job. I work with several communities and I understand the body worn camera mandates, the dispatch, the jail costs, everything is going up. It is not an easy time to be a law enforcement, so thank you for that. I guess one of the things that I wanted to, well, let me start with the easy one. One of the things in the IGA that Mike and I can't seem to come to see eye to eye on, and it's probably because I'm not in charge of our insurance, is the insurance provisions. So just so you're aware, we have reached out to our insurance carrier and said, we want to be covered. We want to make sure they're covered. What can we do? And we're waiting to hear back from them. So as soon as we do, we'll let you know what our guys say, see if that works with your guys. Obviously, we don't want a situation where either one of us are not, excuse me, not, and then you asked how we got to that 96 or whatever the last IGA was. And a lot of it is, it's simple contracts. It's, you know, a contract is, I will offer you A in exchange for B. And one of those things that was in that contract was I forget the specific name, but a deputy service unit, which has immense value to the town. Through no fault of your own, like I said, a lot of the legislation made it probably pretty impossible. It's not specific to your community, but I'm sure you know, police departments and sheriffs are having a very, very difficult time finding staffing. So we contracted for one law enforcement unit and we weren't able to receive the benefit of that. So that, I think, is part of why we took a deeper look into, okay, well, what are we paying for? What are we getting? And in doing so, you know, you're elected by the people of Hinsdale County, across the county, the guys that live in the farthest corners to the guys that live right in the middle of town. Their votes count the exact same. And there's a statute that's really clear that says the base of your service is, and it's, I'm not going to quote it exactly, but essentially just quash riots, and it's very, very minimal. So what we want to know is what services do you have the manpower to provide? What services do you, I've heard, and this is rumor mill because I've never actually had the chance to speak to you, but I've heard, hey, we're not dog catchers. And I think with the size of your staff, one, I agree with you. And two, that's your choice to make, because as the law enforcement officer, you should make those choices. You're in a better position than anyone else in the entire county to say, this call is priority, this one isn't, go in this order. We don't want to interfere with that. But what we do want to know is, for this extra $100,000 or whatever, you know, we end up on, what are we getting for that? Because as the mayor said, just like the guy in the corner of the county and the guy in the middle of Lake City both have one boat, the guy in the corner of the county is paying the same county mill as the guy in the middle of the city. And I'm not saying you're not providing extra, you know, if you're enforcing one of our ordinances, you're not doing that in the county. We should pay extra for that. But we need some kind of understanding, some kind of metric, without controlling you and saying, here's what you have to do, here's how you run your department. That is the last thing we want to do. Please trust me on that. But we need something to say, here's the minimum level of services that I'm going to provide throughout the county. And anything on top of that, I can and will provide this to Lake City, and I expect to be compensated with X number of dollars. So I'm sorry that was a long rambling question, but
You mind if I jump in?
Yep, go ahead.
Well, I think, first thing for me is, I think we need to get away from the idea that we're paying for a single unit. I'm not sure where that came from. You know, all the years I worked here under Sheriff Bruce, I don't think that that was the attitude. And I certainly don't intend to, I mean, that's just not the attitude. Everybody that works for me, including the two new guys that are going through the academy, and also Charles when he's back, you know, it's a group effort, and the bulk of our calls are in the town. It's always been that way, and it will probably always be that way. So, you're gonna have a full staff here in a matter of months, and we intend to do our best and handle calls as they come, whether it's in the town or whether it's in the county. And that's just the way it's gonna be.
that's great news to hear, and I'm glad you're getting guys through the academy. That's always an uphill battle, it seems like. And I would expect the bulk of the calls to come within the town because that's where the bulk of your population is. So kind of that.
Yeah, and I would add, I mean, I think we're blessed to live in a place where we have really low crime. I mean, a lot of the stuff we deal with is petty, a lot of mental health issues as of late. And I think we all sometimes lose sight that we live in such a wonderful town. And we don't have a lot of the issues that these bigger cities do, especially now. And I think counting our blessings, we need to just keep that attitude going forward.
Absolutely, I 100% agree with you, especially calling from Denver. Could not agree more. I tell people don't talk about Lake City. Let's keep it that way. So
Okay. Dan,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt.
Sorry, I thought that exchange was done.
Yeah, were you done, Dan, or no?
I have a couple like quick follow-up questions, but if one of the trustees, if that rings something to you, please, I'm here for you. Go ahead.
No.
No, I'm sorry.
It's
Trustee
just-
Lindsay had raised her hand, but I want you to finish, and
Yep.
then we'll move to her. I'm
Thank you,
sorry,
Mr.
Dan.
Mayor.
Okay.
Sorry.
And I apologize, Trustee Lindsay, you're microscopic on my screen, so it wasn't intended.
I am in real life too, so.
I was going to say very dainty and ladylike, but yeah. So I guess, Sheriff, that really does help establish, hey, the plan is not to have one deputy on call 24/7 for Lake City, and that's your operating choice. That's great. What services are we going to get? Are we going to get the same services throughout the rest of the county if we don't have an IGA? I mean, are you going to provide the taxpayers in the far corner?
That's the part, I'm not sure where you're going there with that. What? I'm not sure what he was going for there.
Can you repeat that, Dan? It was hard to
Sure.
hear.
Yeah, and I apologize. So in order to say, yeah, we're getting a benefit from this contract and you're receiving a benefit, which is the payment, what I'm trying to decipher is, okay, are you just quashing riots throughout the county, or are you providing other services? Are you providing model traffic code enforcement? Are you providing that
We
kind
will
of
be
stuff?
We will be providing everything that we always have.
Okay. And to the extent that you provide that without an additional IGA to those people that live way out in the county, are you going to provide those additional services because you're not required to enforce the model traffic code per the statute? Are you going to enforce those throughout town?
Yes.
Okay. So it seems to me that, and I appreciate that, it seems to me that that's just kind of the service you provide in response to or in exchange for the county mill levy to any county citizen, whether they're in town or out of town, is the model traffic code. I believe there's OHV ordinances that mirror yours, fire bans that we try to mirror yours.
Yeah,
And I want to make this as easy as possible. That's why we're trying to mirror all your ordinances so that you're not trying to say, well, this is in town, so it's different or not. Is there,
so I'm of the attitude that, you know, I don't wanna try to differentiate between the county and the town. If our services are needed, then we're gonna provide those.
Regardless of an IGA or not.
No, I'm not required to provide those services. That's
Right.
why the
well, and
town-
I guess that's the crux of my question is if you're not required to provide those services, like I'm just going to use model traffic code,
Uh-huh.
but you are providing those to everyone who is out in the county, but you won't
Yep.
provide them to the county residents inside the town. Why is that?
To the extent that I can, yes.
So you will provide those services to all county members, whether they reside in the town or in the county.
Yeah, but the county, I think at that point would have the priority, obviously.
We are the county also.
Which town residents are not county residents?
We need to make it past this.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess you see what I'm saying. So I guess
I understand what you're saying.
what
but,
additional services are you willing to provide the town to justify this essentially additional $100,000 ask for services other than, well, we just split it and, you know, the county's paying 700,000. Well, all these people are county members who are paying that.
Yeah, the town is paying for the services of the sheriff's office.
Well, I mean, those,
And what additional services would that be? Because quite frankly, the state statute requires you as the sheriff enforce the law throughout the entirety of the county. It doesn't distinguish between incorporated and unincorporated. So,
I think that's something that you and the county attorney need to discuss a little further.
well, and if he has anything, any kind of, I mean, if you could show me any distinction there, I'd be happy to see that. I haven't seen it, and in fact, I've seen court cases from multiple jurisdictions that say, no, there is no distinction. Now, what you're required to provide is very, very minimal. It's the riot suppression and that. But if you're providing riot suppression only in the town, the people who are paying the same as out of the town, and you're providing model traffic code and, you know, burglary and whatever else, it would seem that you're treating your constituents very different and you're trying to get additional payment for providing the same services to people who are paying you the same amount.
Yeah, well, I would say that's your opinion.
And you can say that, and that we'll see what happens.
yeah,
I think the end goal, and you can be frustrated with me, a lot of this is my fault. I think the end goal here is to work collaboratively to get you guys funded so you can have your body worn cameras and get dispatch and do all that. What are you able to give us a breakdown of what that $100,000 gets other than just, oh, it provides services?
Okay, now I would like to be acknowledged.
Okay,
I'm
one
sorry,
second.
trustee Lindy.
Yeah, thank you. That is in fact, I know that this is a little late in the negotiation game, but as we were speaking earlier, it occurred to me that perhaps we would all feel a little bit better about giving the sheriff's office money if we were putting it towards something tangible. Perhaps we buy a car every year, or we pay the dispatch fees plus something every year. And that way, we are providing that frees up money for the sheriff's office to do whatever else they need to do. And we're also putting in a little bit extra to help them with the entire community, you know, because even though the town of Lake City is our beat here, this is it, this is where we are set to govern, we also have to realize that we're in a community. We're asking the sheriff's department and the county to accept the fact that that we're part of their community, and we have to like make an effort to be a part of their community, if that came out correctly. I just think that we're getting bogged down in some of these details, and we're just becoming more entrenched in our ideas, and we're not gonna get anywhere unless some of us start kind of giving back and forth a little bit. Okay, thank you. Something tangible. That was what I was trying to get
You
across.
mind if I jump in?
All right, go ahead. No, there's the state question answered.
I mean, if that's, we can certainly do that. I mean, if it puts it into something that's more tangible, like you say, then yeah, that's fine. If you would like it to go to something specific, say dispatch fees, say towards a new vehicle. I mean, I got 3 vehicles that are gonna be needing to be replaced here at some point. So that, I think, I would definitely be open to something like that.
Trustee Woods?
I think you said it before, Lex, but how much did I know we got a discount, but how much were we scheduled to pay
Well,
last year?
This past year, it was $97,620,
87.
and they gave us a $10,000 credit.
That's with the 10,000?
No, that,
So we actually paid
87,620 for 2025.
Well, so the way I look at it is, what we're paying for is to have the things that are unique to the town of Lake City enforced.
Correct.
And not, and cause everything else already is included, you know? And that would be what the model traffic, the OHV ordinance and our dog ordinance
The
and,
fire and the fire restriction ordinance.
yeah. So that's the way I look at it, and I've never really favored this thing saying what you get one car or one officer or anything like that.
Right.
So that's what we need to think of it as, just that we're getting the coverage for the
Additional
things that are
coverage.
unique to the town of Lake City.
Right.
That are part.
You mind if I jump in again?
Pardon me?
Mind if I jump in again?
Yeah, I like it orderly, he states it
I
and
mean,
you
so the
respond.
sheriff's office has always provided 24/7 service.
Speak up, please.
I said the sheriff's office has always provided 24/7 service,
I know,
and that's not gonna change.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still in effect.
I know that.
mean, that's what you're paying for.
We
A
appreciate
lot of,
that.
a lot of municipal agencies don't do that. The Gunnison County Sheriff's Office, for example, does not provide 24/7 law enforcement. So, you know, those are just all things that come with it.
Okay. Dan, did you have something?
Oh, Trustee Woods, I just wanted to say that I think the sheriff and I are in agreement here that the one service unit or whatever the terminology was is not the way that the sheriff wants to go. And that we probably should just wrap that up. But I do tend to agree with the rest of what you said. And Trustee Lindsay, I think that you might be onto something with a tangible, here's what we're getting, you know, we're insuring, there's certainly value to say we paid X number of dollars towards a vehicle to ensure that the sheriff can, let's say it's a 4-wheel drive vehicle, can get here in a snowstorm. There's value towards that, and that would justify what I said earlier is the contract something for something.
Would that mean that he has to purchase a vehicle every year, or just can take the funding and?
Right, I mean,
Then why don't we do something like 32,500 for our town, upholding our town ordinances, and 50,000 every year for new vehicle, new equipment, good faith between the town and county. And a percentage increase, whatever the board would decide.
I mean, one of the, I don't remember which example it was, I'd have to go back to my notes. But there was another community that they had an annual rate, which was like 71,500, which was the cost of a new, fully equipped police vehicle. And that rate stayed the same for 3 years, and then in 3 years, whenever they bought new vehicles, by that time, they would have enough money to buy 3 of them, or at least what the cost was before. Then the cost of the IGA would go up to whatever amount the new vehicle cost, one new vehicle cost, when they did replace their fleet. And so that's one tangible way, tangible that we could attach a price to. That's just an example.
Right.
No, that, I was thinking that.
I think the key to this, you can label it however you want. The key is we all live in the county, and we're all gonna get police protection. And then the town is gonna pay up for the additional services, and in that could be go for a car, I don't, care what category it goes into. I think the key to that is for us to have fair and equitable representation to our citizens for the money that we're spending from the town, and justifiable. Not just, well, that's the way they've always done it. I don't mean to keep referring to that, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. So I think a key to this is what's fair and equitable and affordable. I know everything costs more all the time, so, gas, everything else, but
What's
That's
fair
fine.
and equitable? What, in your
that's what we're
opinion?
working on.
Okay,
I think we've gotten away from, when all this was getting started, I was given, IGAs from multiple different places. And it's hard to say what's fair and equitable, but they're all different. One of the ones that was presented to us was, look at, Silverton. They pay 300-something thousand a year. Well, their annual budget is 8 million. And then one of the examples I was given was Creed, and their town budget is around 3 million, and their IGA is 60,000. So there's all these, so do you pick the one that looks the best? That's what I mean by equitable. What works for Lake City and the county and the sheriff's department? Which the sheriff's department is the county, it's Hinsdale County Sheriff's Department, and they're helping the town with all the ordinances and things that are above and beyond the regular police protection. And that's kind of where I'm trying to figure that out for me, but it's a board decision. And that's why I wanted to have this discussion, and we can learn from this, and then, I believe we're gonna iron it out, and we're gonna come to a figure.
is there some way we can get you to enforce our town-only stuff? I know,
We do it anyway.
well, if we can put it in a contract,
Okay, I
then
see
that
where
would
you're going.
help us justify to our taxpayers the IGA before us. Maybe not at that price or that price at some other negotiated price.
Yeah.
But if we can come, we have to get somewhere. We can't just let this go on.
I'm with you.
Yep.
So that's,
No, I'm in agreement, in fact,
so if we
I'm
put it in a
Okay.
I'm
contract,
amenable to that.
sorry, that's what I wanted to hear.
yeah. And it's, we can categorize it however we want, we just wanna make sure the town's protected, our ordinances are there, and it's something that is affordable, but also, what's best for everyone, and I'm gonna stop saying it, but we're all citizens of Hinsdale County, and we just happen to live within this 8-block area. And so, how much of that we can afford, granted, we do need to work on the mill levy, that wasn't taken care of, but even the mill levy, as Lex and I have looked at things, that's not the solve all.
And it would only last so long if there's an annual 3% increase in it.
Right, and the town is gonna have to work on that, one way or the other, I believe. And so,
Let me jump right into it. What's a figure that you guys would consider fair and equitable?
I honestly don't have that answer, cause I don't have the,
You want a breakdown first of what you're paying for?
90,000?
well, yeah, I think a breakdown would be helpful in,
Okay.
you know, costs, you know, and we gotta look at our
Well,
budget.
what's a brand new truck cost? I mean, you have a
Well,
rough
yeah.
idea what that would be, right?
Yeah, I get that,
And then, you know, the cost to upfit it, you know, that's an extra 30 grand.
yeah, I get that.
You're
I,
looking at, you know, that would be way over 100,000. If
Mhm.
you add in the dispatch fees and a new police vehicle.
yeah,
So, I mean, I feel like the 100,000 is fair and equitable,
yeah,
but I'm not hard to fix.
no,
I'm gonna come up with
Okay,
something
one at a
that
time, one at a time.
that works for everybody.
yeah. I just think that like a, you know, a cost of assessment of that laid out would be helpful. I also think, you know, the majority of citizens living in the town paying for all of a certain fee, you know, that's why they probably did it in a partial vehicle. It's because it's partial of the citizens paying for the, you know, they broke it down probably in that way. I agree that we need to get an IGA completed. I don't have a figure in mind, like at, you know, at this point, but we kinda gotta look at what our ordinances are that are above and extra over the counties and kinda assess from there and kinda do our own homework and come up with a fair and equitable thing for, you know, the citizens and what their extra costs are, I think.
Yeah.
Yep, all right.
So, I mean, that information that Christie and Lynn has sent in December, the expected dispatch fees are $69,317 for this year. A full-time deputy plus benefits is $87,750. Well, $87,750 to $100,000 annually, accounting for some overtime. This follows the salary increases implemented by Sheriff Bruce recently. And what is the total cost of the proposed, I asked what the total cost of the proposed 2026 sheriff's budget, and it was $772,391. And at some point, I was looking, but they did give us the cost of one of the new vehicles I believe you did get. And then I had asked, like just for deputy without the, you know, like what are the salaries and all that. So a new deputy pay for 2026 will be at least $66,950 plus overtime and benefits, and an undersheriff would be $72,100, then plus overtime and benefits.
It's actually 62.5.
62.5, okay. Okay, but Lynn, it's at 66,950, but I believe you.
It's probably including, you know, health benefits and
Something else,
everything, you know.
okay. And then once y'all can continue the conversation, once I find the vehicle one, I'll let you know what that is. But I guess the board really, we need to discuss, the board needs to discuss what's a tangible, what are we willing and able to pay? You know, what kind of counter offer or proposal would the board propose?
Yep.
We don't discuss that right now?
I don't have the information in front of me, like,
No, I think the key to it is, kinda like Dan was saying, is what the services that we're paying for above and beyond being a county resident. You know, and we need to support them. You know, I know I was sitting in the commissioners meeting, you know, when I mentioned Creed as an example, they're doing it at 60. And they have a bigger budget than us, but that doesn't mean we have to be at 60. I do know Commissioner Levine had thought, I think he said 80. And, you know, you had mentioned, yeah, it's about negotiation. And another part of it, in all fairness, I respect the fact, you know, last year was very tough on you. You're pretty much doing it on your own. But also that whole sheriff's budget wasn't paying for 6 deputies last year either.
It's true.
And so, we did get, you know, a discount of 10,000, which I personally thought should have been more, you know, because you're one guy.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'll just throw it out there. You know, I guess if Creed does it for 60, I was thinking more around 65, but without having exact tangibles to look at prices and that kind of thing, my heart says, my gut says, split the difference. So if they're, you know, if we're at 100 and we thought 65 or whatever that is, 80,
82.5.
yeah. And now that's not a board decision, that's just kinda where my process is at, but that's also without having all the details. But I don't think we can nail it down, you know, to every single thing. You know, I appreciate what you're saying, putting a tangible value of a vehicle, but I looked through all those other IGAs and everybody does it so different, I can't believe it.
Because it's individually negotiated between the sheriff. and-
Right.
It's unique to each place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so anyways, that was my gut thought, so, yes.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, I think a year-to-year contract is appropriate. And, you know, let me get my guys here, and let's give it another year, and, you know, maybe we can renegotiate something for next year. But yeah, let's come to an agreement, let's make this happen, and, let's move on from this, because we all got better things to do, right?
Next,
so the cost of the Ford Expeditions that the sheriff's office, received recently or bought recently, they were 71,500 each, you know? I mean,
And that was a steal.
yeah.
Was that before upfitting? That seems crazy low.
We did, those were already upfitted. The other issue is those came from Ohio, and I think it cost around $4,000 to have them shipped here.
500.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, but that's another tangible of an example,
Right.
you know, and I don't know if 71.5 would be doable for you, at least until, you know, the end of the year.
Let's figure it out.
Yeah,
Still seems a little low to me, but yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and then maybe another 5,000 in dispatch fees, and that's 76.5. I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there, I'm just trying to throw
Yeah.
something out there so we
yeah,
can come to a
well,
conclusion.
that's all I did. I said what I said. I was comfortable with split the difference, and if you say that buys a vehicle, and then at the end of the year, we take another look at it.
Yeah,
And, you know, how many people and how your budget's working as well. You
I
know,
think
and,
that's fair.
yeah, and that's something, you know, we have information, Lex did his homework and got information from that. I don't have the sheriff's budget, I don't know, it's my, you know, you look at the town budget, you see how we scrape by, and I'm very proud of our staff for that. But anyways, I'll leave it at that. I agree with what everybody has said, but it's also a board decision. And so, Dan, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I really just want to kind of summarize my feelings. I like that you guys are getting somewhere. I like that. Thank you, Sheriff, for showing up and negotiating. You guys are subject to what's called the public trust doctrine as trustees, which means any property that you hold in trust or for the benefit of the people. And that's the reason that we're saying, hey, we're going to spend this money because we want police protection and all that, but we have to be accountable to our constituents to say, yes, this money was spent wisely. It wasn't just, hey, throw the sheriff some money because the county didn't budget correctly. I mean, realistically, the statute says that the county has to fund the sheriff. It doesn't say anything about additional funds being required. So I'm really sorry for saying that. That's my legal obligation. I like where you guys are going. I like negotiation, and I guess in my experience with emergency vehicles, there is always an incremental increase. That's all I have to say. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Dan.
and
Lex?
I mean, we are still waiting to hear back from CIRSA regarding the liability language. I'm hoping we have that before the end of the week. And so once we hear back from CIRSA, I mean, we could have another maybe special workshop if we hear from them sooner than later. And then I can give all the budget information, all the different costs of the sheriff's department, and the trustees, we can maybe work out a price then. I don't feel like we're gonna get anywhere right now with the price, and since we're still waiting on the liability language, maybe we just have an additional discussion.
Right. Yep, okay, well, I just, like I said 100 times, I want it to be fair and equitable, and I think we can get, you know, somewhere a happy medium there. Trustee Woods?
Well, I kind of would feel more comfortable if it actually had a listing of the things that are specific to the town of Lake City, such as our OHV ordinance and our dog ordinance and the fire suppression and
Yeah,
and if you could make a list of those, I would
yeah.
think, but I think if you get it, I'm comfortable if you get a good news from Sirsa. I trust Lex to work it out and negotiate the rest, and I think the
Well,
price that you had was fair, somewhere in there.
If I may, I just wanted to add, as I went through all that, that was one of my concerns, is the insurance part of it. It's a little gray area for me, and it states, you know, if there's a lawsuit or something to that effect, that the town pays half the deductible on that. And that's why we wanna talk to Sirsa and find out, make sure the town is carrying the right kind of coverage and what a fair way of dealing with that is.
Yeah.
You know,
That's wise.
and specify that if it's something that happens in the town. The language in that was a little foggy for me. As far as, you know, if something, God forbid, we get a lawsuit and it's out in the county somewhere, then is the town supposed to cough up $30,000, you know, which I was told that the county's, it's 60,000 or something, I think is their deductible. And so that was great, you know, I think that needs to be answered as well, and that's why, I'm just saying this because I don't know if the trustees are all aware of that, but that's why we've gone back to Sirsa to find out how that works and where are we at, what do we have to cover? Because in the past, you know, we had a rider on ours, right?
Yeah, I mean, we just carried all the insurance we're supposed to have. The town was carrying, liability insurance for one full-time police officer.
Right.
Which would be $8,900 this year. And even when we first had talked to Sirsa, which I'm trying to get all that in writing now, you know, they thought that was unnecessary because you're not getting a full-time law enforcement unit.
Right.
That's dedicated to the town, since it's whoever they have and whatever their schedule is, then that's not really applicable to that type of insurance. And then also, we're not, the police department, it's not like we have our own police department and we're doing the training and everything else that, you know, would hedge that liability.
Right.
So they didn't even think it was wise when we were talking to them over the phone. So, and I would say one other thing, the whole splitting the deductible out of the several IGAs I've read in other communities, that's not in any of them. You know, that's a novel thing. So, I just want to say.
Well, that's something we may have to address in a final agreement.
Right.
But I just wanted to share that with the trustees, because that was one of my concerns, and none of us are insurance experts, and we're gonna have staff look into that, and then that'll give us some more answers too, before we can come to a final decision.
Yeah, I mean, really, the four things are ordinance that the sheriff has the sheriff enforcing is the OHV regulations, which are unique to the town. Even though the county, ours mirrors the county, our ordinance is what gives him authority to enforce the OHV ordinances within town. And then the fire restrictions, which the town has mirrored that as well, so that we automatically go into the same fire restrictions when the county does, so we don't have to do a resolution every time. And then parking and abandoned vehicles, that's also something the sheriff's office is to enforce within our code. And then our model traffic code, which we give them the authority to enforce that within the town, even though it's a state, you know,
Well, it mirrors the state.
it mirrors the state.
Yeah.
So there's only the four things really that is above and beyond or that would be additional services, outside of what is already being applied to the Hinsdale, unincorporated areas of Hinsdale County.
Okay?
Mayor,
Well,
can I interrupt real briefly?
No, I was gonna say, I would like to end with any final statements from Dan.
I guess two things. One is I would absolutely welcome conversation with the county in establishing jurisdiction where I don't know if it would be as simple as revising the county resolutions to enforce those things at the county level within the town. I would highly recommend we grant them that authority and that jurisdiction. And then two, to the extent that we can reduce our cost for insurance and still be covered to the satisfaction of the sheriff, I would suggest, and this is my personal bias, that money is 100 times better spent just giving to the sheriff than it would be to an insurance company, just based on principle. So I think if we can save some money there, that would work towards the favorable resolution here.
Right.
Let me know what you hear back from the Terry.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do that.
All right, is that it, Dan?
Yeah, just the insurance is too specific, and I'd rely on Sarsa's attorney on that.
And ultimately, since Sarsa is gonna wanna know, tell us what kind of insurance we need to be covering for them to cover it, you know?
Right, and that's a viable cost associated with this whole IGA
Right.
that we have to consider, so.
Right.
All right, well, I appreciate the discussion.
Yep,
Thank you, Sheriff Starnes, for being here with us, and we will continue to work this out. Personally, I'd like to get this done, get it behind me. And that's it, so there's nothing else on that matter. Let's move on to our next item. Here.
until next time.
Yes.
Thank you, Sheriff.
You too.
Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Yeah, have a good one.
You too.
Okay, our next item is to discuss J.T. Stratton request to remove trees on block 55, lots 5 and 6 on Henson Street.
Correction, it's actually blocked 22.
Nope.
Okay,
It's just block 22?
Yeah, it's block
Oh.
22, lots 5 and 6,
Okay.
717 North Henson Street.
Thank you.
okay,
Yeah, I saw that on the agenda. and-
okay. Real quickly, did everybody get a chance to read the letter from Mr. Stratton?
No.
I don't know, how do you want to start this? I had an opening question, and then, or I'll share my feelings, or how do you guys want?
I mean, ultimately, the board is the tree board, and since these are perfectly healthy trees, it's not really what we budgeted to remove or trim necessarily. We typically go based on what the Forest Service recommends, that this tree needs to come down, and so we budget annually for it. Right. So that's why it's before the board, is that technically you are the tree board. He is looking to develop those lots, and I would say that his water and sewer will be going into Henson Street, that's where he'll be tapping in, and he'll wanna put in a driveway, of course, so he'll get an encroachment application for that. So in order to develop his property, I can see why he would ask about the trees.
Yeah.
And so it's really up to you guys, which I'll have all the pictures and all that in your packet.
Well, if I may, I would share my thoughts. This is not a board thing, but just as I read that and looked at it, these are thoughts that went through my mind, and then I want to hear from all the trustees. One is, I never want to infringe on somebody's property rights, and, you know, we can't be blocking there. I went by and looked at it visually myself, and looked at it, and it's kind of a surprising grove there, because they're very close together. And, but we are a Tree City USA, and so keeping that in consideration, I would like, you know, I think I'd like to see us work this out. I have I almost said senile question, a history question, did the town plant those trees?
Yeah, who did?
At some point in time, or those are volunteers?
I think, I believe.
Okay, well, as I was standing there looking, the other thing I noticed, we inherited a lot of things that have happened over the years. And I saw your property line, and then I was looking right at the next door neighbor, their railroad ties are encroaching out into the roadway, you know, and there's 0 trees on those next 2 homes. And so I think that to me, now that you said they were volunteers, that's just kind of a natural stand of trees there. But I think we do have to make sure that the property owner has access to their property correctly. My one gut thought is I do like trees. I would kind of hope there could be a compromise where we can work together, and maybe 1 or 2 that aren't infringing could hang out, but that's just you know, a gut feeling. And I'm done, and now I'd like to hear from everybody else, and then, JT, would you like to kind of explain your case and then listen to the trustees?
If you guys wanna continue, I can respond later.
Okay, we'll go with the trustees.
So we're talking about these,
Are you
right?
looking at cutting all 18 of them?
Well, there's actually 10 that border our lots.
Yeah, exactly.
And
10 of them.
All 18?
in my
No, just the
assessment,
10.
there's only really one that's actually a decent tree. And it's the one that has the head-in parking sign on it. It's relatively straight. The rest of them are leaning towards the property, and because they're so close together, they've
Yeah.
grown really thin. You know, they're not really, I mean, you said they're healthy trees, I mean, that's a
could be a
relative
liability.
assessment, but that's my thinking, is that down the road, they could be a liability. Even that one existing tree that is the healthiest and
Yeah.
straightest one, which, you know, I would like to get rid of all of them, and if we wanna save one, I think that that's really the best one to save, because if we cut the rest around it, it's gonna get more light and become a healthier tree, and it is the healthiest one of the whole 10.
Trustee Lewis, we'll just go around this.
Go ahead.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, and this may have been in the literature. Are you asking us to pay for it, or are you willing to do the work
Well,
yourself?
I'm willing to negotiate on that. I could do the work, but obviously it's dangerous and a lot of work. And if I was to hire someone to do it, or
Yeah,
a tree,
well, I just wanted,
it's quite expensive to get them cut down.
to me, it's a different story from each side, so I
Right.
wanted to know what you had in mind about that.
Well, I believe I'm capable of doing it, but yeah, I would like to be compensated in some way, you know, because they are the town's trees. I've read that y'all's ordinances saying that y'all have the right to maintain and plant and do all that, whereas the adjacent property owner has the responsibility. So that's why we're here, but given that we just received the lots in 2025, early 2025, and they really haven't been maintained by any of the previous owners, you know, they're really not in great shape.
And just,
And I would like to remove as many as possible, one for the utilities, as Lex stated, and then two, because of the potential, because they're so thin of them, you know, causing property damage. If in the future, you know, we end up leaving some and something falls on something we build, they're town trees, so then who would be held liable for that, or responsible?
yeah, that's come up in the past, we have some big old ones right on Gunnison Avenue.
And I'm kind of a tree hugger myself, I
Yeah,
really don't
that
wanna,
that are,
I don't wanna
you know,
cut
make
any
us
trees, but they are pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
And I apologize, I said I was done, but when I went down there to look at it, there's some survey stakes in there. Are those your corners? Are you on 2
Yes, sir.
lots or 4 lots?
It's 2 lots there.
2 lots. Because there's that other house, and then there's kind of like rock work that's been done in circles and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I noticed that house has some, I was just trying to get a good, clear picture. Either way, you have a right to get to your property, and we wanna work on that. Hang on, let's go on around. And while you're waiting your turn, think of your questions, because it gets old. As you listen, then you think of something, and we'll be here forever. So thank you. Henry, and Trustee Woods?
Clearly, those are all, a lot of them are a big mess there. I'd like to see at least 2 saved. I can see 2 that looks like it could be healthy trees, and that certainly would allow you to, put in your water and sewer, I think. You know, this is kind of Ben's department nowadays, so I want to, I don't know how big a hurry you're in.
Well, I'm not in a big hurry, I just wanted to get the ball rolling,
Because
but
generally what happens is the state forester comes in the spring and goes around with Ben and looks at, and answers every questions that Ben has. And then he schedules a tree trimmer to come and tries to fit it all into his budget. He has a limited budget every year, but I think the state forester would be the one to pick out the healthiest 2 or 3 trees there, and then, you know, you could be there when he's there, and I think that we can't really make a concrete decision right now until we have Ben chime in on it.
Yeah, I actually met Ben over on the lots earlier this, at the end of last week. And we did see that there are two healthy trees, the one with the sign on it and the one that's towards the east side of the property there. But my issue with that one tree on the east is that we do plan to build a home right there. And it's leaning towards where we would potentially build. So I think that one could, in the future, become a liability. And that's why I say that there's really one tree that I would like to keep if we, you know, come to a compromise where we want to keep a tree.
Well, you know, if we were to make a decision, or the council themselves, I think it would be kind of micromanaging Ben, and it's more his department, so I think I'd like to wait until the spring when the forester comes and works with Ben and picks out the best trees, and obviously the ones that are leaning in are probably the ones that we'd want to get rid of.
Yeah,
And
there's really only.
I like trees, so I don't want to get rid of all of them.
Understandable, but my thoughts are that down the road, they could be a liability, especially once we improve the property further.
And the other thing, it's an interesting grouping because those lots were kind of no man's land for a long, long
Yeah.
time. Because then, I think you're Ben's neighbor, actually, and there's no more trees going that way from what I remember, maybe one on down that way. I think we're all in agreement here. I don't know if we're gonna make a decision tonight, but if, you know, you got a little bit of time.
Yeah, I'm not in a big hurry, I just wanted to get the ball rolling.
I would like to involve Ben and see what his feelings are on that, you know, maybe his crew, you know. They're bigger than I originally thought, but still, they're just like a wild grove. They weren't specified. Go
I
ahead.
mean,
Max,
Ben,
I'm sorry.
and we should have Ben here so you can hear it from his mouth, and I had talked to Ben too. And he said at some point, the board had given him permission to cut those down, he's never gotten around to doing it. And he was like, oh, I'll just take them down, and I was like, well, technically the board of trustees is the tree board, and we definitely need to get their input on it. And Ben was thinking that he could fell them and Public Works would haul them off. But, I mean, that was just his idea, and so, but again.
Well, and, you know, we're not in the business of removing trees for people, but they are our trees, and like I had stated, it's private property. The other side of that one is I'm looking for cooperation, and I think it would be great if Ben would be here, because who knows, maybe Ben and his guys would have some time. We can decide on which ones are going, and you can work together, you know, instead of us compensating you as you're getting the benefit of getting rid of them, and our guys could, you know, if Ben feels that way,
Understandable.
you know, just come up with a win-win. Let me go to trustee Kendall.
So, just to be clear, we're talking about those trees.
Well,
And so-
Well, there's a picture of them in
There's a picture in
the
your
email.
packet.
But there's not a picture from outer space,
Oh, God.
But we can't
because I see
see
a property lines back.
but yes, on the,
Yes.
right there where Jeff's trailer is.
Hinson Street,
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're,
yeah.
close to the
Well,
highway.
one of
Yeah.
the places.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the main access.
And Ben's gonna develop the one next to it.
Which is another,
Yeah, I think Ben has the first 4 lots, and you're the next 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I see that?
And by the way, this is just, I want all the trustees to put in their input, and that way we all develop a headset and then come together on a
Because there's
conclusion.
Ben's
But,
property.
since it's not a rush, I don't know there should be an action item tonight. I know you spoke with Ben, but I would like him to be part of
no,
that
yeah,
too.
it's fine. Just
And
because
you're-
there's an action item doesn't mean you have to take action.
Right, but you're also exactly right that in the past, the Board of Trustees is the tree board for the town of Lake City, so ultimately it's our decision. But I also like to work with our staff.
Yep.
And so what Ben's feelings are very important as well.
So, he said that the forestry guy comes here in spring every year. And you're not in a super hurry, but we want to get it maybe started, you know?
Yeah, I would like it done in the spring.
Yeah, so-
Or early summer, cause.
Yeah, so that's about when he the forestry guy comes, and once he looks at it, maybe we can make a more informed choice.
So there's obviously some that need to go,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that are unhealthy.
but it's also up to him partially, or a lot, because he's gonna develop that lot, and he wants to have a certain place probably for a driveway, and so we need to listen to his,
And tapping into the water
Wanting.
and sewer,
Right.
yeah, and that too,
and
yeah,
so that's a consideration.
Yeah, and the roots of those trees would
yeah,
definitely over time interfere with that.
Coming to us.
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
Okay, we're gonna get back to order.
continue. Yeah.
Trustee Bruce,
And the liability issues with them,
following,
they need to go if there's, you know, issues like that.
yeah. Anything else?
No,
I was just gonna say they're gonna die regardless, if you dig through their, I mean,
Their root systems.
Yeah.
the root system, if it puts through a house or whatever, are these on your property line down here?
Not those, so, let's see, those are bins, and I think
Yeah, these ones
it
here.
starts about right here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna tuck a house at a foundation,
And
that,
that's where we want it, close to that corner,
Yeah.
to the northeast corner.
I mean, it's kind of redundant, I mean, not to take him down, because by the time he puts his foundation in, it'll slowly kill the tree anyways. And he's gonna put a driveway, that water sewer main there is deep, so it's not like a tiny little trench, it's gonna be benched out, which is gonna affect a lot more of the area just to
Yeah.
put the utilities in, which is gonna swath 50% of them right away, and then your driveway, I would imagine if your house is right there, is right there. But also the other crux of this thing is the trailer parking in front of in Henson Street. I get, it's a business. What's our, well, I know, I get it, it's owned by a business, but what's our deal with all the trailers or ordinance?
Well,
Everyone wants to know.
This place,
City
what,
street,
excuse me,
Yeah, it's a public street.
One at a time.
Yeah.
yeah, the bottom line is we've started now, a program where we're gonna start. Once again, we adopted, nobody did anything about anything, we have junk ordinances, and we are the lucky group that is gonna start enforcing some of that, and we're doing it as easily as we can, we're being as fair to people as we can, and so, but that is our street right away, and like a lot of things in Lake City, you know, there was a little alley that we used to use all the time over there by where Bowie Bolger lives. And I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, but you'd come right over the Ball Flats Bridge, and that was like a way of going in and out of the Ball Flats. And then with growing pains, somebody bought those lots, I don't want you on here. So as things develop and change, we have to work with that. Jeff has parked his trailers there for a long, long time, but that is the town's property. And as we go through ordinances, as somebody's developing, you're not gonna block their private property. He has a right to have his driveway,
Yeah.
and we're gonna have to work on that.
Yeah.
But I saw that in your letter, and I agree, and I don't say we go attack Jeff, I say we work together in this, but, you know, as that happens, I would throw out one other thing, I'm probably taking more of my time than I should. I understand the bringing the forester in, I guess I lean back towards talking with Ben, and here's why. If Ben is serious about helping, earlier the better, because those guys all get busier the closer we get to spring. And, you know, once the ice falls up and the ski hill's running and all that, Ben could be a little bit of help, but it also comes back to working with Public Works.
Yeah.
You know, if they would help with the hauling off. But I do know as we get into springtime, they all get really busy, so.
Yeah.
Time may be of the essence.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what the forester would do, because I do agree with one thing, they've just been wild. You know, there's not been any trimming in a bunch of those bottom branches, I can tell they're dead and there's not leaves on them. You know, so it's not like somebody's been manicuring and giving them a lot of love. But, you know, I don't feel we should make a decision this evening, but I also don't think we should drag it out. I would
Right.
like to
Here.
come to a workable, sensible
Yeah.
resolution.
And I would just add this, oh, go ahead.
Just on the note of talking to Ben, when I met him over there on the lots the other day and we discussed the two trees, he said that all of them are crap except for two. And that one's on one end of the property, one's on the other. And we discussed removing them, and most of them are leaning towards the west, you know, over the lots. And of course, they're really tall for how skinny they are, but I think that's due to them being so, in such close proximity, that's just the way that they've grown for so long. But I discussed the option that maybe I could use a boom truck and cut the tops off where they're not so dangerous, and then, Ben said that he could push them over with the backhoe and take them away. Like that would maybe be a compromise as far as the work of removing them goes. That's just something that we brought up and discussed.
All right.
Just an idea.
Yeah.
Cause he said that just pushing them over would be really dangerous due to how much that they're leaning.
Yeah.
But if we could cut them, remove half of it, he could easily push over the remaining half.
Yeah, and I think trustee Winery brought up some good points there about once you start disturbing, you end up dying anyways. I'll tell you, the old cottonwoods have always made me nervous. Because I've seen them when they do take them down, and some of them, there's barely any tree inside. It's like, it's a ring of bark, and it's like, how's that thing been standing, you know?
They hollow out.
They're notoriously dangerous trees, they really are.
Right.
I would just add that, I mean, last year it took the Forest Service, they didn't come in spring, and it took a long time for them to get out here. I know they're also short-staffed. So maybe waiting on the Forest Service, that could push it all the way to fall, you know? So depending on when the Forest Service can get out here, if we're gonna do that. But, you know, maybe we can get, Ben and I and JT go look at them, and then we can have Ben come back and report to you.
Next meeting,
Yeah, sure, yes.
Nope, I think we're all
You're here.
pretty much in agreement on this, and
Yeah.
I think, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down, but it sounds like the trustees, let's hand this off to staff, let them work together in a collaborative fashion and come
Yeah.
back to us with your decision, and just knowing that some of us would like to see maybe at least one of them,
Yeah.
if it's, can be done safely, and then if it does end up dying, it goes anyways. But I think we're all in agreement on both sides, public safety wise and private property, so,
Awesome, cool. Thanks for your time,
thank you.
Thanks, JT.
appreciate it.
Okay, and that was all
And
thumbs
I
up.
understand baby number 2 is on its way?
Yeah,
Woo-hoo,
any week now.
Really?
goodness.
February, early February.
Awesome.
Congratulations and the best of luck.
Yeah.
we're gonna be building a bigger house than you think.
We need 3 bedrooms.
Well, for clarification, is the board good with that?
Yep.
Then-
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think we need the forester, and my own personal opinion is we should just get rid of them all.
Right.
But,
Okay,
and I know I'm a tree person too, but
Yeah.
that's just my
I could see a
opinion.
couple in there.
well, let's let these guys,
Nobody did. No one did.
well, and,
They said volunteer.
Aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
see, he's gonna replace him with better trees.
I'm a
Cool.
healthy tree person.
I was gonna mention that when we were talking is, you know, I think you like trees too, and I think
Oh,
that-
what
that-
is that
that's
look on
part of
your
the deal
face?
is, you know, you end up planting some aspens and pines and, you know, trees that belong here. That would be great, but that's not part of the deal.
He doesn't
But
like me.
I think we're in a good place. Let Ben and Lex and those guys work it out. And,
Okay.
And if it means they all go, they all go. I was just sharing the fact that, you know, I'm on that road.
Thank you.
Next item, discuss draft ordinance amending penalty provision to limit penalties imposed for non-felony criminal violations.
Yeah, this is what Dan had spoke about. Dan, you can speak to this.
Sure. Thank you, guys. There's a camp decision that said essentially a town can't have a higher fine for the same action that's prohibited at a county or state level. And this just amends your code to keep us out of trouble. It's pretty short and simple and to the point, hopefully.
Yep.
Let's go for it.
Okay. Any questions or comments from trustees on that? Nope. Hearing none. D, discuss amending ordinance 2023-13 short-term rentals to include reference to fee schedule. Lex, you can explain.
Yeah, so I mean, most of our ordinances have a provision in there that like a permit fee or a fee for whatever, can be changed from time to time by resolution, or the adoption of a new fee schedule. And for whatever reason, that particular sentence is not in the ordinance. And so it's really going back and cleaning that up, or at least pointing the direction to our fee schedule.
Right.
Perfect.
And the way it was explained to me, it was just kind of an omission, and it needs to be in there.
Yeah.
So, once again, it's housekeeping.
Yes.
Okay? Any trustees have any other questions or comments on that?
No, sir.
Nope. Well, and I apologize, I might have talked a little too much, but I'm glad everybody got heard. We ran up past 7 o'clock, but luckily it says it's closed to thereafter, so. If we were all psychic, we would have started at 5:36, but can't always do that.
It's okay.
So, that being said, it is now 7:19. You guys, you want a 10-minute break, a quick break, 5 minutes, or?
10.
Okay, a 10-minute break, and we will come back, it's now 7:20. We will begin our regular meeting at 7:30.
I'm just glad this building was available.
Okay.
I'm surprised I'm gonna flag it here too. There's one in the case.
Go ahead, guys.
Good evening, everyone. It is 7 o'clock PM on Wednesday, January 21st, 2025, and I'd like to call
2026.
2026. Pardon me.
He's under the influence.
I meant to tell you, I'm dealing with toothaches and I did have a pain pill or, so I meant to apologize at the beginning of the meeting.
Strike that from the.
2026, and I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Town of Lake City trustees. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Landon, would you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Roll call, please.
All right. Bruce.
Here.
Kendall. Okay. Lindsay.
Present.
Winter.
Here.
Woods.
Here.
Weiss. Here. Roberts.
Here. Approval of the agenda for the regular meeting for January 21st, 2026.
Is this where we make suggestions to add to the agenda?
Yes.
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 I would like, we all received that email from Josh Vertruba from Packers. We all did. He sent it to everybody.
Yeah.
I don't recall seeing that. Was it that in my packet?
So, the festival permit thing? So, I mean, that's actually something that the board doesn't have to approve, since it's only really like, they just need the local licensing authority to sign off on it. And we've already sent it to the state for their approval, and they came back with some additional things they needed. And Josh Vertuber has provided that to them. So now we're just waiting on the state to issue the festival permit.
Oh, here.
So
Okay, so it's a done deal,
there's, and there's nothing that this board has to do.
In process.
even though it's a town, because they were told by,
BLM,
or the state liquor or whatever.
Yeah, the state liquor, they did submit an application through us, because we hold their license.
Correct.
Right? So, but that wasn't anything that needed to be by a motion of the board. Since they're in good standing with their license, we were able to administratively just approve it and send it to them.
That's awesome.
So it's already in process.
So what it was, Jody, was they want to do a beer garden at the at the Ice Climb Festival.
Great.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to make sure that, because I was under the understanding that they needed approval from us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have some comments on that when we get down to correspondence received. I think that's a good time to talk about it.
Okay.
Now that we know that.
Yeah, I don't have an S correspondence received, because I saw that after the fact, and so it's not on there, but it's true, he did send an email, but that was with the understanding, because I told him when he applied for it, that the board may need to approve that. However, after Christina looked into it, that was not the case.
Oh, awesome.
It's a unique thing, we've never had one of these before.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I will save my comments till the mayor report on that issue.
So I would like to move to approve the agenda for the regular meeting, January 21st, 2026.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Bruce?
Yes.
Kendall?
Yes.
Lindsay?
Yes.
Winter?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Roberts?
Yes. Regular meeting minutes from January 7th, 2026.
Yep. I made it.
Everybody get a chance to review them?
Did you? Spell check? Did you?
Yes, why?
I
Any
would,
questions or comments on the minutes?
I would like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of 1-7-26.
Second,
Motion second, roll call vote, please.
Bruce,
Yes.
Kendall,
Yes.
Lindsay,
yes.
Winery,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Lees, Roberts.
Yes. Bills payable for 121.26.
Seems like we got a lot of phone calls after the ski hill.
Just left any, red flags, anything we need to know about?
No, I mean, no, there's nothing in particular. We're kind of paying some invoices from December. Once we get those paid, I can do the journal entries, and do finalize the 1099. So no, I don't, there's nothing on here out of.
Everything with the house, bathroom and everything went squared away?
Yes, it's done. The bathroom needs to be painted.
Yep.
And I was gonna ask the board at some point if we could buy a gallon of paint, and my wife and I would paint the bathroom,
Here, here.
but that's it. And I would like you to come by and check out the subs.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, we need to do that.
Okay, any other trustees have questions or comments on bills payable? I just wanna say I appreciate you saving paper and printing on two-sided, but I don't know if this is possible, but if this
Flip
page
it over.
could be right side up.
Yeah.
We had the exact same
It
thought.
would be helpful.
It's easy that way.
I agree.
Agreed upside down?
See, but see now, it's all.
Oh, I'm holding it wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Ah.
thought it was easier to read.
There you go like that.
No, mine's, oh, it's paper clipped on one end, see?
Huh?
I make a motion to pay the bills of January 21st, 2026 in the total amount of $34,356.45.
Second.
Second. We've already had opportunity to comment, roll call vote.
Bruce,
Yes.
Kendall,
Yes.
Lindsay,
Yes.
Winery,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Lees,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
That was a
Okay,
good one.
citizens' comments on items not on the agenda. We have no citizens in the room with us evening. On Zoom land, anybody up there, if you have any comments you'd like to make, raise your hand, turn on your mic. Seeing none, we'll move on to committee reports. First one, Lake San Cristobal Water Activity Enterprise, Trustee Woods.
Well, there's not much going on at the lake. It's pretty, frozen solid. We've got our meeting, our annual meeting, we're coming up in May. And, I'm not slacking here. I'll tell you how many cubic feet per second it is. We've got 15.5 cubic feet per second coming out of the lake right now.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, any questions for Trustee Woods?
Nope.
Hearing none, we'll move on to Gunderson Basin Roundtable, Trustee Woods.
Well, I was at the meeting Monday, and, I will have a fuller report that I'll email to you. I just wanted to touch on a couple things. Bill Nesbitt retired from the, board, and so Gunnison County will be picking a new, person. There's a lot of good reports on the education committee, of, things they did for kids. Including we funded, buying waders for a bunch of Gunnison High School students so they can learn how to do water sampling. And, also they gave them fly fishing lessons.
Oh, perfect.
So, there's, our grants we had 3 grants that we approved. One is for the Orchard City, pump station by Grand Junction. And then one is for Gunnison River pumping back to help Blue Mesa. But the one that I wanted to mention was, we gave funding for $50,000 to the Uray Ice Park to, enable them to start pumping out of the river and quit using so much city water, and also buy piping and new sprinkler heads for them.
They weren't already pumping out of the
No,
river,
they have that big pipe that comes down from,
Fox Canyon.
no, it comes from that, reservoir up there at Ironton.
They're on municipal water.
Yeah,
And they had that big pipe, that's how the ice climbing got started over there, cause that pipe was so leaky. It started leaking.
Benefits.
And, you know, it's kind of the norm anymore. The water situation is very grim. You know, everybody always says we have to pass 7.5 million acre feet over the Colorado state line every year. But it's actually, that's not the way the Colorado River Compact reads. The Colorado River Compact reads that we have to pass 75 million acre feet over the state line in every 10-year period. So that 10 years is coming up, and it's gonna bite us in the ass in the next year or two. But there's a lot of negotiations going on. Kathleen Curry is our negotiator, one of our negotiators. And her whole mission right now is she's putting out all this educational material, presenting our needs to the lower basin states. Because as I've said before, the lower basin states keep trying to tell us how much water we should send downstream based on their needs. And we're always saying the amount should be based on the supply. So it's their demands and our supply. So she's really trying to educate them. And
So mainly California needs.
yeah, and then the Shoshone Water Project, you know, that I've been talking about forever, the in-stream flows were unanimously approved by the Colorado Water Conservation Board recently, so that's good. And Bev Richards gave a big report, and I'll go forward her report. She had a computer problem and couldn't send it to me, but we're the 72% snowpack at the beginning of January. And she said, well, there's still hope, but it looks pretty grim. So anyway, I'll have a written report to you at the next meeting.
Okay, well, we appreciate you attending that. Any questions for Trustee Woods?
No,
Okay,
go high schoolers.
thank you. Next, Historic Preservation Commission, I know Mr. Fox isn't here this evening,
They did not have a meeting in December.
okay? That makes that easy. Any questions? Why? No.
Next.
The next, Chamber of Commerce, Trustee Kendall.
I missed the meeting, I've been kind of under the weather, so.
And you sat next to me.
No, I'm not sick, it's other type of, it's not contagious, it's physical.
Okay, we'll be looking forward to your next report. You obviously didn't hear what I had. Okay, next, Marketing Committee, Trustee Bruce.
So in the month of December, Mission to Market, who is our new marketing people, worked, and so did Kate Hobson, they worked together. and the transition has been remarkably smooth. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. And Mission to Market is going to be hiring someone locally for social media and photography. So we'll have some local representation there. And they did our strategic plan for DIRT, and, for the marketing committee, and they did a great job. They're really easy to work with. So things are going well there.
Good. Any questions on marketing for trustee Bruce? Okay, we'll move on to the MAC committee, also trustee Bruce.
So we have a meeting scheduled February 5th at the Lake City Area Medical Center it's from 9 to 11. And they said it may not take 2 hours, but it's just kind of like a first of the year coordination meeting. So I'll let you know about that next month.
Okay. Any dirt questions?
No. That's not dirt.
I mean MAC. Now we're moving on to dirt. Trustee Bruce.
So we're getting ready to release the 2025 annual report. We're continuing to fundraise for the playground. We're up to $188,550. So I think we're 30-some thousand short right at this
It was
point.
like 232 or something like that. It's still got a good gap there, $47,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought it was a little less than that. Anyway, we're getting ready to release the festival music lineup and the poster image. Katie Briggs is the artist this year. The benches that were purchased with the AARP grant, which go to Memorial Park, they're actually sitting in the armory, I think, right now, waiting for decals or something.
They got stained.
Oh, the stained or whatever. They are put together and ready to go as soon as that is accomplished. Dirt, several members of the Dirt Board will be assisting serving the meal for the ice climbing festival that they do at the Armory. That's gonna be fun. Christy is doing grant writing workshops for the town staff the end of February, correct? And there was an upcoming business workshop, but with Dirt, the Chamber, and I don't know who that is. Anyway, it was scheduled for February 24th, however, that date has changed. I'll let you know what date they come up with in March. And Greg Collins is going to be attending the Saving Places conference.
All right.
And that's it.
All right, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any dirt questions? I know, I'm not repeating myself, I got ahead of myself. Thank you. Next, Region 10, that's myself. Our executive board meeting is tomorrow. I did attend the regular, they have two boards, a board of everyone, and then they have an executive committee. The last board meeting was pretty much just housekeeping and looking at the budget and that kind of thing, nothing real interesting to us. I will be attending the executive one tomorrow. Kindly, we had a local citizen here. I thought it was very nice. I don't have permission to name them, but they appreciate that we're working with Region 10, and they made a cash donation to Region 10. And I think that's very awesome. And the other thing is, I'm not at liberty to say anything, but there is the beginning works of a new business for Lake City, and they are working with Region 10 through their business development program. So, yay! Somebody is looking at doing something here in Lake City with help from Region 10.
Perfect.
Makes me happy.
Is
Did you
it
have a
that
question?
property in front of the divorce court?
He can't say anything.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Nothing, he knows nothing.
You thought you were gonna trick him into saying.
Good try.
That's gotta be it.
Just because I'm hurting, yeah, you probably could have got me, I'm sorry. Okay, other than that, I really don't have anything else on Region 10. You guys have any questions?
No, that's great. It's good that somebody's using it.
Okay, next, Planning and Zoning Commission,
Yeah, Dave and I were there, they were reviewing the ADU strategies. It's definitely gonna be something that's way more involved and require a lot of thought. So kind of just throwing the idea of us applying for that ADU grant out the window, because we'll have to adopt one of those strategies before we could be a ADU supportive jurisdiction. But they are gonna start working on that every month, the planning and zoning board will be, so that they can come up with some recommendations that make sense, for our community.
They were just not making any excuses. Lex was doing the best he could, and I understand that, but they had a very tight timeline. And discussion in that meeting, and I think people were correct, is it's not something we should just be rushing into just to grab some money when we don't know what we're doing and what the best decision for the community would be. So I think, although I appreciated Lex's work on putting that together, I think the correct decision was made, and it's something we will continue to work on. Okay, next is town manager report.
Yeah, so the consultants are looking to give their final presentation of the housing plan in a joint housing workshop with the county. We're looking at February 11th at 5 PM. At least 2 of the 3 commissioners can do it. Commissioner Hurd will be out of town, but this is it's really within that week that the consultants would be able to do it. And then once they do that, they're done. Then we'll have the plan, which both jurisdictions would adopt. So I just want to make sure with the board, February 11th at 5 PM is going to work for a majority of you. Please look into that. I do want to get that on the books. Looks good. February 11th.
5:30?
5
o'clock?
5 PM on February 11th. If everybody's good with that, then I will just put that in stone with the county and the consultants.
That's when CPI is, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, the Saving Places Conference? Yes, it is, but, yeah, I don't think that would interfere, I don't think anybody here is going. And then, so yeah, we're here because the Wi-Fi access point in the, meeting room malfunctioned, and in fact, it was generating something that was like a denial of service attack, and so, that's what Visionary thought it was. But I believe that unit actually, because I couldn't get it to work again at all, and I did just about everything I could think of, even came in on the weekend to do one last thing I thought of. And so I've ordered a replacement for that. We should get it next week, and I should have it installed and back up and running next week.
What is a denial of services?
It's a form of cyber attack where they overload your IP address with too much information, so that it eats up all your bandwidth, so that your internet doesn't function. And that's what was happening last Monday and Tuesday. Our phone systems were down.
Right.
And our internet was down last Monday and Tuesday. So, but Visionary gave us a new IP address, that stopped. I had also blocked that port, and when I went and did investigation, that port was associated with that Wi-Fi access point, which hasn't been working right, for a long time. And so, yeah, so I believe it makes more sense that thing malfunctioned and created the problem than it does that we had a cyber attack.
So someone's been kind of spying on us, kinda?
No, I don't, I doubt that, I highly doubt it was
You said a foreign cyber DDoS?
Yeah, well, he said he's pretty sure
Like a mechanical.
the mechanical, or the function is
mechanical
what.
issue.
Yeah, something malfunctioned within that, and it was creating some kind of feedback loop.
Ward out.
And something went out on it.
Getting DDoSed.
Right, because of,
Um,
I think it's Canada.
Yeah.
Somalia.
Thank you for the,
see,
Probably
I
Somalia.
report,
And-
I think.
go ahead, Lex, I'm
And
sorry.
so-
Okay, guys.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
We got the W-2s done. I believe with this bills payable, we'll be able to do the 1099s for last year, which we gotta get all that stuff done by February 1st. I did a bunch of annual reporting for the Conservation Trust Fund, the Highway User Tax Fund, and did the workers' comp audit. And then by this next week, I'll be working on all the quarterly grant reports and reimbursement requests for our grants for October through December. And once we receive those reimbursements and the sales tax and any pending sales tax that's due from other governments, we'll be able to focus on the audit, which I believe will be like the 3rd or 4th week of February, where we'll be able to start on it. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay, I just wanna make a comment. I'm very surprised. The owl works better here than in our meeting room. And I'd like to know what the difference is. Is
It's
it the li-
closer.
Is it the lighting?
Very
Oh,
close.
No, it's closer.
Well, we're
Yeah, I
well.
can hear much better here.
It's closer,
Okay.
yeah.
Just an observation, not complaining.
Yeah, I hear you.
Maybe we need to get close.
Maybe we
get
should shove our
closer
tables.
At our other meeting room, I don't know.
Yeah, we can try that. I'll try that.
Okay, well, thank you, Lex. Any questions for town manager? Hearing none. Next is the town engineer report.
She didn't have anything to report.
Okay,
Perfect.
yep, I'm driven by that. It's kind of shut down for the moment, but making headway. Next, legal update. Dan?
Thank you, Mayor. I think you guys have heard me talk enough tonight, so I'll be quiet unless you have questions.
Any questions for the attorney?
No, I appreciate it. Thanks
Yeah.
for the workshop earlier.
Yeah, thank you for
Yeah,
all your
thanks, Dan.
assistance earlier, Dan.
Thank you guys.
Everybody appreciates it.
Yes.
Okay, mayor trustee reports. I guess I'll go first this evening, and share the things I was gonna say. The one thing that Diane had brought up, and I'm glad to hear that that's being taken care of, but I think it's great. I've always been pro-business, and I think that'll be a nice feature at the Ice Climbing Festival. I noticed in their letter that it was something that Ben wanted, and so we support Ben. And I would just like, to encourage everybody, any town business that wants to participate should know that they're welcome and invited, because the more of those kinds of things you have there, there's more for people to do that aren't climbers, and it kind of brings the festival atmosphere. And I'm not saying anybody has to do this, I definitely support them on having their beer booth, but I just had a wild thought how neat it would be if a small percentage of their proceeds were donated back to the ice wall.
They will have to collect 3% for the BLM and us to give to the BLM.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and another cool thing is that there was a mobile, sports medicine massage, lady who wanted to come to our festival. She says usually she charges people to be at stuff like that, and I was like, well, we don't really have the budget for that, we didn't anticipate you coming, but you're welcome to come, you just gotta give us 3% of anything you make. But there should be like a mobile massage, a sports medicine lady there as well.
Oh, wow.
And then also something else on that is that we've had record number, we had 130 cars this past weekend. There are a lot of them. However, what they're complaining about, or what they're saying, is that there's just the lack of services here and the lack of open businesses, and there's nowhere to hang out and drink at night. And so we're just hearing that over and over again from them.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to put that out there, hopefully someone's listening.
Okay, thanks, Lex, for finishing up what I wanted to share.
Oh, my bad.
I did drive by on Saturday and Sunday, and it was pretty amazing. I think Saturday, I've talked to other locals, and we all had different counts, but it was over 100. I counted 110 on Saturday, but of course, they're always coming and going. And I counted 97 on Sunday. And then I took the time to kind of just walk through and visit with some of them, and it's really amazing to hear their stories. You know, these folks drive from Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
One of the couples that I spoke with, and another one, they were actually out of somewhere in Idaho and planned their vacation to come to our ice wall. So I think that's amazing. Very proud of our park department. It's the Wall of Dreams, build it and they will come, apparently. And so I think that's great.
Yeah,
Some of-
and don't let Uray freeze, so.
Yeah, exactly,
Right.
yeah.
Now, that played a part in it, but it
Yeah.
also, those folks that normally climb at Uray have another option now too.
And now they've discovered this place.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I hear ours is better.
Well, it is.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's easier access. I think one of the
That
things
too.
that's so
Bigger,
neat,
longer, stronger.
one of the things that's so
I
neat
mean,
about the beer
taller.
garden is it almost looks like an Olympic.
South Park.
What I like about our park is the length of it for one, but the beer garden almost looks like an Olympic venue. You can park there and I took up one photo with 5 climbers all in one frame. And
Wow.
they each had plenty of room. What else was it that Lex interrupted? Oh, as I did speak to them, that was something that they had mentioned, is gee whiz, really miss that bar down there that we went to last year and that kind of thing. And we have talked about this, you guys are gonna kind of do some marketing to our businesses, maybe talk with the chamber and see what we can do, but as y'all know, it's been a chicken and the egg thing here. We either have visitors and nobody's open, or we get people to stay open and then nobody shows up and they're losing money. And I've always felt like it's gonna take a 4 to 5 year commitment to have a solid winter business going. And I hope we stay on that track, and anything staff can do, like you mentioned it to me, I'm not taking credit for that, but getting the word out and working with local businesses, because there's business to be had. Trustee.
To add to that point, I think that I would just give praise to Josh and Amber at Packers for being open. They've been killing it. I was there the other night and they were at capacity, back to back to back, and I
With
think,
20 people staying outside on the porch.
yeah,
right?
they,
Was that a game day?
During Denver game.
Yeah.
that was, I think they've been doing a really good job, and I appreciate all the work and effort that they've put into keeping the business open in the winter.
Yeah. I hope that problem solves itself. I mean, I know some places have been, or at least one place has been trying to hire someone to keep the bar open, but they just can't find anybody. But looking at like the donations that have been coming in, I mean, there may have been 100 cars this past weekend, but I think only maybe 15, 20 people donated. And so I've been talking to staff about putting out something on Facebook or putting it on our website that, look, we love providing this for you, but we absolutely can only operate it and pay for it through donations. And to make that really clear to everybody, that if you really love this place and you're gonna come, please don't be willing to donate something. Because we're not raising as much money as we did last year, and there's twice as many people.
Yeah.
So, we will be, I just wanna let y'all know, we're probably gonna put something out there, and just to try to encourage people to donate.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have a sign with a QR code.
We do, in all the bathrooms and all the tables, we have it everywhere.
I think the whole experience of Lake City would, like with businesses being open, would also help that morale.
Yeah.
I think fighting for a place to eat or drink or, you know, is
Or
kind
the
of,
town, we could open a bar in the Armory.
Now,
Anyways,
Hey, it was an idea.
I guess it's a free range, trustee report night, everybody just jump in whenever you want.
You just
But thank you for
spoiled
bringing
his
that up, Landon, I think, our trustee Leonard, I think that's a very good point, we should all be very thankful for those businesses that do stay open through the winter. I think the outpost over here is doing well.
great job.
I went in there and visited, and
Matterhorn.
their food is good. Yep, the Matterhorn Motel, and I think, as I was joking earlier about the Wall of Dreams, build it and they will come, and as they will come, we will grow. So now we'll get back to Mayor will shut up, trustee reports. Trustee Woods.
I want to just agree, I guess, that, the ice climbing walls was wonderful. Just aghast that there's not any more places to eat that open, 2 nights a week, there's nowhere to go get dinner. And seems like I wish we could have some kind of incentives or think of some way to get more businesses open for food.
yeah, I think if they had employees that could hire people, then it would be open, but they don't.
And that's something the town can chat with the chamber about. I know over the years, they've always said, hey, with restaurants and, would you guys get together and try to space it out so at least somebody's open? And that seems to work for about 3 weeks or a month, and then it kind of goes out the window. One of the
Same 2
comments,
days.
one of the comments I got was, is it Tuesday's delivery truck? Because I think it was Tuesday. I was looking for something and absolutely nobody was open. Well, Town Square here, Bees.
Yeah,
And
Bees.
the grocery store. And I appreciate the grocery store too, they do their coffee and rolls in the morning, these guys are doing breakfast and so. And children's is open. But anyways, that's something we can just kind of mention to the chamber, there's opportunity there. And now I'm talking too much, trustee Lindsay, do you have a report or anything you'd like to share?
Can get you when you're drinking.
No?
No, sure, thank you.
No, I think the businesses being open is nice.
And I will put it out there that I have decided to run for another term for mayor. I've turned in my paperwork and, I just feel like there's projects that we've started and I would like to complete. And we have we've come a long way and I'd like to continue to work on. So
Future fruition.
appreciate, anybody's support. Okay, sorry, not a commercial, just, I wanted to share that. Okay, that's it. Correspondence received, I thought that was very cool about that, Neptune Mountaineering.
Yeah.
And Lex, they.
It was about I think it was $536 or $563 that they had raised through that and just donated to the ice park.
Very cool.
Okay, then, I mentioned this before the meeting, but the GCEA notice of change in the franchise rates. The dollar amount's not changing, it's just their multiplier, so I guess so luckily, that's not a huge bite to the town right now.
Don't they have,
Go ahead.
don't they have to have a public hearing or something to go up so much per kilowatt hour?
I have no idea. I know they had their hearing when they did raise the rates in general. I don't know if that was part of the conversation or what. I didn't participate.
And that doesn't affect our contract that we have.
That's pretty big.
No, because even in the contract it says
Well,
that it can
actually, the
change
dollar
from time
amount
to
didn't jump
time.
at all.
Okay.
Here, I printed this out because I found it interesting, but what really happened was, yeah, I don't wanna waste too much of our time, but, the existing rate is 0.16656 per kilowatt hour, and the new rate is 0.17666 per kilowatt hour. So their examples are, 170 watt mercury vapor, existing rate is $16.69 per month, and the new rate is $16.69 per month. So that's what I mean, the actual cost.
The availability fee is the same.
Didn't
It's
even raise it a penny.
the surcharge for the kilowatts per hour that's changing.
Yeah, those aren't samples.
Yeah, those are that tells them how many of those lights we have in town that we pay for.
Right.
We pay
And,
that much
and then
plus.
that's the base fee that we pay every month regardless of how much we use. And then what's going up is the kilowatts per hour.
Okay,
So it is kind of a,
well, I'll be interested then, pardon me, and I'd be
10%.
interested in seeing how much that really affects us.
Yeah, I'm curious too.
So it's
Okay,
kind of a
good point,
wash.
thank you for the
No,
correction.
yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to be
Well,
like,
that, but
yeah.
that 1 cent per kilowatt hour is hitting all our citizens.
Yeah,
Yep,
Yeah.
don't believe me.
Not the ones on the peak though,
Well,
on the peak, off peak. They said we wouldn't be
it's
affected.
hitting everybody in one way or another.
Yeah, I know mine's down, I've been trying to cut down, but anyway, that was just a letter from them. And then there was that third letter, I don't know if you all read it, but, that's no fuego. That would be an act of Congress to open up 9 miles of the highway.
I like it, I could go to the ranch.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And I would have a trailer up there.
That, well, I shared this earlier, and we'll get this meeting wrapped up, but when the bridge got closed at Blue Mesa, and I got stuck there, I went back to Arrowhead Ranch, cause I didn't wanna go all the way back to Montrose, and they were kind of open, they weren't even open, but they put me in a room. And I was sitting there with the owners and a couple of locals, and they started talking about, well, they heard I was mayor. Oh, Lake City, we love it there. Man, we just wanna be able to ride our, OHVs and stuff from there to Lake City, that would be so great.
Yeah.
And as we had talked about it, I said, yeah, the highway was never even brought up. I said, that would take a trail from Big Blue Road all the way across, and there's a lot of private property in Wilderness area, so if that's something, I told them, you wanna take that on, that's fine, but the town of Lake City.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
We're not gonna be able to do that, and I think the highway, I appreciate their letter, but I don't
Thank you
think
for addressing that.
it's gonna work. Then additions to the agenda, we have none, and then our action item is a discussion and possible action to approve the removal of trees in our workshop. It sounds like
Be a
we,
motion to postpone.
I make a motion to table?
No, postpone
Postpone.
to the next regular meeting. We can try to have it wrapped up by then.
okay,
I make a motion to postpone this action item until the next following meeting.
Sorry.
motion, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Bruce?
Yes.
Kendall?
Yes.
Lindsay?
yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Roberts?
Yes. No other action before the board this evening,
I make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Good
Good night, everyone.
Good night, thank you.